Now... Tonight's the night that England's Three Lions will go head-to-head against Germany in the Euros at Wembley.
But with a rollercoaster pass between the nations, this game not only seals their fate within this competition, it also is shrouded in historical rivalry.
Very sporty start to the show today, isn't it? Not like us.
Out. Who are we?
Well, if only we knew what we were talking about.
We're blagging this whole thing.
We're joined now by two men who have a lot to say on the subject, stand-up comedians, Henning Wehn, who will be supporting Germany, obviously, live at Wembley Stadium tonight, and Geoff Norcott, who has faith in England that will go all the way. Morning to both of you.
Good
Lovely
morning.
to talk to you both. Big fans of both of you. So, Geoff, is the anticipation as enjoyable as the game in something like this?
Yeah. This bit is Christmas Eve, Phil, and we all know Christmas Eve is better than Christmas. Christmas is always a bit of a disappointment, and I think England versus Germany, mostly for us over the years, has been a bit of a drab Christmas where you didn't get what you want. But I'm excited at the moment. I think it's one of those moments where we've argued about a lot of stuff as a country, whether it be statues or face masks or anything. I just think it's maybe, hopefully, 90 minutes where we can just get behind one thing. That's what I'm looking forward to, the positivity of everyone wanting one outcome.
However, the one outcome we really don't want is for it to go to penalties at the end, because we know what happens there. How would you feel if it was looking like the game was going that way, Geoff?
I'd rather lose 4-0, to be honest, Holly. I'd rather just get absolutely spanked. And to know for quite a long time that we were going to lose, because we know, any experienced football fan knows, it's the false hope that kills you. And you can have a laugh about 4-0. There's something vaguely comedic about getting tonked by your oldest enemy. But penalties is just a bit tragic. And we all know, I mean, Henning's there. He knows. If he goes to penalties, Henning's not worried if it goes to penalties. You know what I mean? He's already booking his tickets for the next round. So we need to do it in normal time.
Henning, your thoughts on that then? I suppose you don't really care either way.
What if we win 4-0 after penalties?
Yes.
Yeah, probably 4-0 would be preferable. There would be less moaning and whinging going on after. So, no, but I mean, I think this is the first time in a long time where England are actually favourites in the game. And so is anyone's. Let's see how it all plays out. I mean, I wouldn't be... Germany hasn't had the greatest of tournaments. England very, very solid at the back. So who is to say England aren't going to win it, other than experience?
Well, Henning, the thing is, you know, obviously you're a very proud German supporter, but you have lived here in the UK in England for 20 years or so. So have you got sort of any allegiance to the England team there?
Well, I live amongst them, don't I? So living here in England for the past 20 years, so of course I've followed very, very closely, but I know full well that if England were to win the Euros, that would have a far more real impact on me than Brexit ever will. Because when England made it through to the semis at the World Cup and everyone was singing that it's coming home, it was like VE Day. And and I would have that for years to look forward to. So therefore, I mean, honestly, anyone but England. Not because I don't like him. I think he's a very likeable manager, very likeable team. But what it would mean for my everyday life, I mean, it doesn't bear thinking about.
You were going to say something, Geoff?
I think it's misunderstood. You know, it's often spoken about as arrogance or overconfidence. It's coming home. And the thing that's coming home is hope, not expectation, if you get my drift. I mean, when you look at our record against Germany, it's not fantastic. Although, you know, compared to some of the other European teams, we did win against them in Euro 2000. We did have that great World Cup qualifying win, 5-1 in Munich, but we haven't done it for a while since 1966. I mean, of course, I'm legally obliged to bring up 1966, but we still do have a 100% record in World Cup finals against Germany. There's the footage. Brilliant.
There it is.
We might as well watch it again. It comes to something when your memories are in black and white.
I know. Not the most contemporary reference, is it? It's an odd time for the game tonight. I imagine our viewing figures today are huge, because we'll be having a lot more viewers who should be at work that are pulling a Euro sickie today because the game is on at 5 o'clock, which seems quite unfair on an awful lot of people today.
Well, there'll be a lot of people that are just waiting for their boss to say, please say 1 o'clock, go home. Please say 1 o'clock, go home. And then your boss comes in and goes, guys, I know the football's on. And then he goes, so I'm bringing some big TVs into the office. No one wants big TVs, Dave. We want to go home. And then what you'll probably have, Holly, is you'll have loads of parents going, oh, one of the kids in the bubble, there's been a test. I think there'll be a sort of England variant that happens for this afternoon, which means mysteriously a lot of parents suddenly have to rush home.
Yeah.
And Henning, you're actually you've got your tickets.
Yeah, it's easier than ever thanks to the pandemic. So because the Germans aren't allowed to travel to Boris Island, and on their return back to Germany would have to quarantine for a fortnight. So that meant the German FA essentially didn't know who to shift the tickets to. So there were only 2 places. I mean, I could have got a coach load of tickets.
Did you just say Boris Island?
Yes, yeah.
So I imagine you're going to have to sing quite loudly tonight then, Henning, because there's not going to be that many of you, is there? You're going to have to sort
Well, I hope the team is doing the singing.
And so genuinely, Henning, how confident are you?
It's an iffy one. I would settle for a narrow win.
A narrow win.
For a narrow win.
And Geoff,
Yeah,
what about you?
2-1 would do nicely. But honestly, I mean, the bookies are rarely wrong. And I know it's a patriotic betting market and whatever, but they have got England as favourites, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree.
OK. Geoff, what about you, your prediction?
Well, I'm quietly confident, but it's a confidence that's so quiet I haven't actually heard or experienced it yet. It's locked away deep in my psyche, having been burnt before. But you know what? At the beginning of 2020, on Question Time, I predicted that it was going to be a great year for Britain. So I thought, why not go double down? OK, let's have something that will come back to bite me on the bum. I'm going to say 2-0. We're going to score early. We're going to score early in the second half. It's going to be a really pleasant experience, and then we're probably going to go out to some Scandinavian country in the next round.
Fair enough.
OK, there's some hope in there.
Henning, you're on tour at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they let us from September, so then travelling up and down the country. And as I say, I mean, if England had won the Euros by that point, that would not be very pretty. So do us all a favour, even if you beat Germany today, as Geoff already promised, the winner of Ukraine-Sweden, that might be that one bridge too far. And fingers crossed. I mean, but then, because that's the thing, isn't it? We're all talking about today's game. But it doesn't really matter, because the only thing that will be remembered is the team who wins the tournament. And there is another 4 games to be played. So even if you win today, to become a successful side, there is another 3 games you have to win. So
we just want that. It's just the experience. It's the experience and the delight of the win. So it doesn't matter that we're 4 away. I mean, it's just that moment where we all jump up, our beers fall over, and there's the moment. This is what we've been waiting for, Geoff.
I mean, you're exactly right, Phil, because Henning said there it's all about winning the tournament. No, it's not. We had a day of national celebration after getting knocked out on penalties in '96. Those players are household names. We sort of like have a day off school for making the quarterfinals. So I think you're right. You just want to dream for a little bit, and it would be nice to dream for a while tonight. But the thing is, I'm going to be watching it in a hotel of my own, so it's going to be a bit sad, my experience, whatever happens, sitting there on a hotel bed in my England shirt, drinking beer. It's going to. I mean, it's going to be worse CCTV footage than Matt Hancock, probably. So I hope it doesn't get out.
Are you?
I'm going to try and enjoy it anyway.
So are you in a hotel because you are on stage?
No, I'm doing a little TV thing tomorrow. So, yeah, I have to get there ahead of time. But I have been very studious about booking my trains and stuff, because I don't want to be on a train then. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a big queue for the taxis at the train station. So I might end up having to pay a bit of a surge charge, but I'll be happily ensconced in my hotel room and cheering on the lads.
Oh,
gentlemen,
good.
wherever
Enjoy
you
it tonight.
To be,
Enjoy.
Celebrating, Henning at the game, and Geoff in a hotel room, sadly drinking beer on his own. Enjoy, fingers crossed, and thanks for joining us, guys.
Take care.